Hi, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody, good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Two
We will
minutes.
start.
Yeah.
We expecting Chinmay. He got his, so he's having some problem with his laptop. So he'll be joining in 5 to 7 minutes.
Sure. Give me 2 minutes to start. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I just upgraded my laptop.
Yeah, Chinmay, it's not
Facing
started.
issues while installing Zoom. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Chinmay, you are audible. The class has not yet started.
Hello. Hello.
You are audible. It looks like I am not audible.
No, Gopal, you are audible. I think Chinmay is unable to hear us.
Hello.
Hello, Chinmay.
Hey guys, I'm audible to you guys.
Yes.
Okay, very good morning to all of you. I know some Monday morning is very tough for everybody to get up early, even for me too. So I hope all well. Days have been fine. Weekends was fine.
Yeah, weekend was good.
Okay, good. I made a couple of presentation for you guys in Power BI. I'm adding a couple of more module as well to making you getting more practice.
Good.
Okay, also I have a couple of few requirements for the software. I don't know whether you've been aware or not, but if you guys already having a SQL server at your desktop or Oracle, anything, any database would do, and probably because those I want to connect with the Power BI in order to get the dashboarding. So people have a SQL at their PC. How's that?
No, we don't have it. We'll have to install.
Okay, so do you mind getting it possible because the next week is what going to be starting, right?
Right. We get it installed.
Yeah, so Monday you should get your SQL Server would do because SQL Server I also have a script, nothing to worry. Okay, give me a kind of if you have a SQL Server, I'll give you the script to load the data, databases, everything. You don't have to worry. Everything I have.
Yeah. SQL Server Community Edition will work. That free version.
Yes, should be you should have that what's called Management Studio, SQL Server Management SSMS. You can get it downloaded, right? It's free of cost.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in order to show you, I would have SQL. So you can see that. So don't
Okay.
worry, these are the free. Management Studio 18 is free, and SQL Server is also free. So you can go for full-fledged or simple, whichever you feel comfortable. Please get in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lakshmi, are you there? Can you hear me? Are you being joined?
Yes, Indra, I'm here.
Okay, so you can see my screen. I'm not able to do any folder here. You
All right.
or you can.
Is it possible to send it on mail?
No, for the documents.
Yeah.
No. You shared me a URL, no?
Yes, yes.
So if I go and copy, how do I copy? You want me to copy directly, or you have any folder to be made?
You want to upload the files, right?
Yes, so if you can create
Okay.
a folder, okay, you want me to put it directly, I'll do that. Give me a second. 1 minute. Presentation. See, I don't have permission to.
Okay, 1 second.
So base presentation is still, for example, we have a PDF. So probably I'll give you PDF that's more better for you. And you have a PPTs as well. So I'm making a couple of, presentations.
Check, Indra. It's
Yeah.
working now.
Let me check. Let me refresh it first. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. So just leave it for a while, not needed. So is everybody requested to get access to this? You have a URL access, right?
Yes, I'm going to share the access now. Yeah. Okay.
You can see that, yes, we have a folder here and we got still copying. Give me a second. We have all the files, yes. If we copy this, there we go, it's been copied here. Lakshmi, did you get a chance to see and take the feedback for last week?
Feedback?
Yeah, have you taken up last feedback?
Not yet.
Okay, this week. So guys, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being not in syllabus, but I've given you an extra where you can go ahead and take it. So these PPT will help you in order to understand all the concepts. Is that okay, guys? So this is all presentation. Okay, all fine, guys. So you're having all the presentations for the data warehousing, and we'll do for the Power BI as well. Okay, and followed by I'll give you the practice sets, which will have the data, sample data. Guys, I'm audible. No responses are coming.
Yes, yes, Leonardo.
Yeah. So here we have a presentation. We will give you a kind of a sample data, which is this CSV format, and then CSV file, then Excel sheet. Fine. So I will also. Okay, no worries. I'll put it in offline. What else I need? So let's get back to the presentation. So I've tried to push you all the possible documents which is needed for your training. I hope the other day when we have spoken about other concepts, those would be all fine, or you won't have any kind of a discussions. For the older one, would be fine for me as well.
Yes, we can go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to talk about today the storage type, especially the table. We're going to talk about what is data warehouse dimension and fact tables, what are the schemas being available, and how the concepts of dimensions, how they work, what are the different types of dimensions, and the facts too. So here we talking about all dimension, all facts. So if you see majorly, people are being storing their data in relational model. Now here, it is not relational. Here we're talking about all, is going to be all dimensional model. So you saw how dimensional model works. It has definitely a third normal form story, but the way of storing data would be a little different. I'll close this off. And let me go back to my place. Presentation and browse. Not this one, sorry. Okay, you're going to see and understand what is dimension table, what are the different categories dimension has, understand the fact table and the categories, and definitely what is the major types. Now, having said that, why do you think this dimension and fact table are being very important? In order to see the data in what variety and in what ways you would represent the data, in order to get your dashboards, metrics, KPIs displayed on a screen. So if you understand the data and their behavior and what category the data falls into, it's easy for you to make a kind of a presentation reports or a dashboards. Whereas we talk about categories, we talk about measures. So what categories they are, what is the measures, what is the surrogate key, what exactly hierarchy happens, and why do we need hierarchies? So those things we're going to be talking about here. The most important part is we're talking about a dimension table. So first of all, this dimension table is denormalized. I believe we already spoken before what is denormalized. Everybody remember that small example which I've given for product, where you have a product category, product group, and product item being in 3 different tables in your relational model, whereas a dimension has dim underscore product, and which you have all IDs and the descriptions together. Do you remember, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
So what we're trying to achieve in dimension table there? What is the important thing we were trying to achieve in a single table?
No join and faster queries.
That is fine, but what is the purpose behind them? It was just give them combination of 3 tables and where I can go ahead and create a hierarchy, right? That is a base requirement. Creating
Yes.
hierarchy. Yes. So Here, dimension table basically is structure which contains a data, right, for business questions. So wherever the question comes, okay, how many, or maybe let's say, top 10 product sales, top 10 customer sales, which store products are being sold more, which quarter during sales is happening more. So those all, it's a dimension. So dimension is basically a view, how you're taking the data in different aspects. So if I'll give you a very simple example. So when you say a view, how do you define a view for any data? Do you think looking at a different angle, the data gets changed, or data is actually manipulating when you're looking at a different angle? Anybody can help me out? When you see the data, any kind of data, it may be like calculations or something, and when you display on a screen,
Data will not change, only just different ways of manipulating it.
data may not change, only that manipulation happening, but those calculations have been permanent in nature. If I ask you, the answer is no, correct?
No.
So basically, when you say, I'll give a very simple example why people are saying a view. So if you have a window at your bedroom and there's a one small park which people come and do a jogging in the morning. So if you have, let's say you got two different beautiful windows in your same bedroom. So the moment you wake up and then you go into the window, you see one angle of your park, right? And if you have another window and you see one angle of the park, does your park change?
No.
Does the dimension of park change?
No.
So what is changing?
View from where you're seeing the park.
Okay. You may seeing one window, you may have few people sitting around, maybe one particular angle you see. Maybe another window has a proper angle for entire park. So what is happening? That is actually a view. Here, the concepts remain same. You have a similar data, exact same data. Let's say you have a sales for 15 days or a month rather. So 30 days of sales, you may see sales by quarter, by month, by customer, by product, by location. Well, what exactly are we doing it actually? We have the data, we have the sales neither changing nor increasing, right? It is the same what it has been already made. What you're trying to achieve looking at a different angle is you're trying to go and make some decision out of a different angles. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
So dimensions are basically kind of a table which stores business definition. So for example, product is a business definition, customer is a business definition, store is a business definition, location, right? So you need to understand in your dimension modeling, first important aspect is the dimension table. So dimension table have its own features and own properties, which we're going to talk about soon. Now, each sales channel for retail business may store data on a sales and purchase. Now, where we have a sales and purchase, both data, right? So what could be purchased for a company like Walmart? Can you help me out? Sales, you understand, we're talking about sales, we go and buy stuff. So what is a purchase for them? Does they also do purchasing for you or for themselves?
Yes, from other companies.
From
They
vendors.
purchase.
From
Yeah.
vendors, right? So they have purchase items and they're trying to sell you out or they're selling it. So they have both data, right? So what are the different questions you probably come and solve it when you're actually looking into dimensions? So the question would be, what is the status of product sales promotion where we stand today in the market? What are the incremental sales of the product before or after sales or promotion happened? How does sales promotion help the various distribution channels into their day-to-day sales? So let's say there's some survey you've done, and then after you want to see them, what had happened before and after the survey? Is it really impacting the sales that is incremental or decreasing a sales, whatever it may be? So the idea here to create a dimension in order to see your data. Now don't ask me this dimensions table is happening in your production, right? They are not a part of your production data. They are not a part of your sales data, isn't it? Yes or no? Are they part of sales data?
No.
Are they part of production? Yes or no?
They have to be, no? Just not very sure
They're
on
not
that.
part of your production data, but they are actually have the production data, post-production.
Okay.
So you can't say it's a part, but yes, it has a property. It gives you the information. It gives you the insights. So you can't take away say, no, this is not a part of my data warehouse. I mean, as a data warehouse is a production data, but yes, you can say it's a partial part of your data because it gives you the insights, man.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's a property. It's the value of your money. So let's say you have a 2 BHK flat. Unless you sell it out, there's no liquidity, man, right? But the property documents gives you a kind of a strength that, okay, I have 2 BHK flat with me, right? So same thing goes here also. So when you do a sales on a daily basis, the data has been captured in various databases in the production system. Whereas if you want to go and look at the data, that's only way of two ways of possible. Number one way is you have a reporting system which is connected to production and show you then and there. That's one way, which is going to be very often. And these days we don't, encourage them. We are actually completely having a different reporting system, a different database at all, which is known as data warehouse. So it's not about your, production data, but it is actually a partial part of your data. Having said that, those dimensions, those sales, right, has to come. We also talk about measure little later, only dimension we're talking at this stage. So let's see what dimensions we have, what are the different categories dimensions can be, and how the property and characteristics are there, right? As of now, things looks okay, guys, to understand what dimension is, right? Dimension is all about a view, how you're looking at business data under different angles, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let me make it bigger. So as other tables, this table also has two important characteristics. One is attribute and second is hierarchies, right? So when it comes to the attributes, the column of data which has a level of hierarchy. So forget about hierarchy at this stage. So if you talk about a dimension table which has year, month, day, so probably what will happen, you may not be having all three separate columns. You will have all three coming out from one data column, which is called date. It may be order date, shipment date, production date, whatever it may be. So you can definitely come out with kind of a level, right? Whereas you need a year, month, quarter, and day, which will help you to create a hierarchy later on. So when it comes to the attribute, individual column in the dimension table is actually an attribute, right? So in order to understand anything, you take it, you take it, for example, you say which product you're selling, right? So the product becomes kind of your attribute. Now, what are the product attributes? Maybe it may be product ID, product categories, product group, right? Now, why do we need them? So if you have your data and you saw that we've been talking about a denormalized table, right? We're talking about combining all three tables in a production and put it in one table. And why do we need so? In order to get your data, you want to get them in hierarchy. So even you have a data available on relational data, you may still go ahead and do your calculation, but that would be a very flat calculation. Am I clear? 5 rows like an Excel sheet, and you're saying sum of all of them, right? Everybody, are you following me?
Yeah.
Right. So if you have 10 records and you've been adding a sum, you may give a one total, which is a complete total. Now, going further, if you want to go and deep dive into them, how this total is coming across is going to be tough. So you need a dimension table, whereas you define them a kind of a hierarchy. So quarter, year, month, day, or product group, product category, and product item, you define them. So how does it actually benefit it to you? So you may go and see the same sales what you saw in Excel sheet, and say that, hey, I want to see the sales on a base of what are the different groups being total sales I've done. And then followed by, if I click them, I can go for categories, right? Then I go by items. So what exactly gives you, where do you think why it's been different, and what is, do you think it's positive? Do you think it's benefited out of flat data sales, which is an Excel sheet? Please help me out. Guys, come on.
Can you please explain again?
Okay, so I said you being seeing a data from product, group, category, and dimensions item, product item. You've been looking at different angles of the data, and you may see that it giving the data sales on a group, on a category, and a product item level. How does it's different, this data or this insights from an Excel sheet one where you have just gone for calculation of 10 records and give you one value? What is the benefit you do get in two different angles of view? Both are showing the same data.
We have to, in case of for making that Excel data as same as the data which is shown on visualization tool, we need to make pivot tables or like that for that.
Yes, my question is not to make, how to achieve. It's not question how you achieve. My question is, what is the benefit you're getting this view rather than Excel sheet view? That is my question.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to do any computations in terms of normal the data which is shown on visualizing tool. We can directly slice and dice data whichever which we want.
So I'll repeat my things. Let's say a product group, product category, and product item. So if I go for a product group, it'll give me all sum, right? Aggregated on a group level. When I click and I go to the category level, same value being divided in different categories, correct?
Yes.
Then I click in any category, it goes to the product item level. So now you tell me, what is the benefit? I've given you all my answers, Ben.
Hierarchy is there.
Hierarchies. So one is hierarchy. Other thing is the benefit is your data is being summarized on your view, the hierarchy, the level you're looking in. So what level data are you looking in? Is an year level, quarter level, month level, or day level, whereas you're seeing a product category, product group, or product item level. So the same data gives you a different views and gives you more better achievement in terms of giving a hierarchy. So do you think it's important now?
Yes.
Okay. So if you talk about a normal relational data table, they do not have dimension at all, right? They have all the data. They may have a data in different tables being a relational model, right? Normalized, but here the position is absolutely opposite. It's going to be denormalized table, and it's actually going to be, rather breaking them up, it is actually combining them up in one simple table. Am I making sense, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, where's everybody? Where's Jagrati? Where's other people? Nobody's even saying yes, no. All well? Guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we are talking about, a dimension table. Now we'll go a little further and understand what is surrogate key. Okay. To be very important and to be very precise, when you have those masters data available in the tables like a product group, product category, and product item. When it comes to the dimension, we are actually combining them. But the other problem comes here is if we have to go and make changes on our product master. For let's say I'm changing a product group. So it was, let's say, a solid state. The name was solid state as the group. I'm saying only solid, right? Followed by category and followed by item. So do you think if you make any changes in product, number one, do you want to store that history changes of the product when it changes and why it changes, which is the date it's changed, right? Or number two, no, you don't want the change, you want the actual data. How do you gonna see them? What is gonna be your thought? Come on, help me out.
We will keep the history in a different table and get the actual data in the correct table?
No, it never works like that. It has to be the same table. Forget about table. I'm just asking your view, the angle. How would you like to see? Would you like to go and see your data on a different changed one? For example, you are an employee. Currently, your location is India, and you move to US. So when it comes to reporting, the current location would be US on your salary slip. But would you like to also have those data that how many years and start to end date in India and then you start date in US?
No,
No, I don't think it is required.
Are you sure?
I mean, it depends upon who is checking. If it is, I am checking my own data.
It is very much required. That is why you have historical data. It is not the current data. What is data warehouse? It's all about. Is it not historical data and plus incremental?
Yes.
If you want a current, you already have current in warehouse in your production data, right? Production may not have a history.
Correct.
Number one. Number two, look at this picture. I'm trying to define your surrogate key. So let's say I have my employee ID 123 and I have my own detail. And when I change my location, does my employee ID changes?
No. It should not change.
Does employee ID remain same?
Yes, I think it should be.
It should remain same, right? So in order to make changes on your data, you do not change your employee ID. So how do you differentiate between one row to another row? We have similar property called primary key, but we here calling as surrogate key. It really acts as a primary key, which is differentiate with first row and last row. So having said that, if you have an employee ID 123 India for 2 years, and then you're saying 123 moving to US. So how many records gonna be? Multiple records for 123?
Can you come again? Indra?
Okay. Rather than talking. Okay, so let's talk about employee ID here. Employee number, ID, employee name, and your location. That's it. Just do this. Okay. Let's say 123. Name is Gopal, and location is India. Right. Having said that, this is your current location, and you can say start date, date, start date with Jan, right? And Jan is nothing, so I'm saying 909. So this is what it shows, right? Gopal, can you see what exactly the data is saying? Is it showing the current one? It is by default value, so it's still in India, right?
Yes, this is the current data.
Do it like this. Okay, then I need to go and make changes. You are in US now, right? And this end date, whichever date is being converted. So for example, I talk about 22 today, and I'm talking about 2022. So what will happen? What would be your no end date will not be anything. This I'll take it and then I'll put it here. Come on, help me out if you understood correctly. Or with the date you moved in. So what is difference between these data?
Location is different, and also the end date.
You know, what is you getting from this data? Help me out.
It's telling me a tenure of employee as well as the location where the employee was there.
So basically, it gives you this is the older record.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a business. This is the current record. Yes or no?
Yes.
So do you really need them? You don't need them.
Yes, yes, of course. We need.
When it comes to the reporting and warehouse, remember you having historical, current, and predictive data in your warehousing, and the volume is going to be huge. And that's the reason you may need this. And you should have this in your database. We'll talk about what is called slowly changing dimension, which is 2. We forget about this stage just to make you understand, but here you'll have something called, so this is the older data and that's the new data right now. But here if you see, if I do a primary key here, and if I put record number 1, or let's say I'm not taking this primary key, I'm making this as a primary key. Then can I go and make changes the current one?
No,
Why?
because the primary key will be duplicated.
Perfectly fine. So what I do is I'll create a new key which is called surrogate key. Right? SK employee ID. Everybody, am I clear? What could be the value here? Someone help me out. Is it making sense now? Everybody?
Yes.
So what we're trying to achieve? So surrogate ID is being changing as a primary key, but the employee ID does not change. So any column you make changes here in the data, right? They would actually impact your surrogate key. So the moment you create a new record, it will incremental by 1. It can be auto, generated, especially in SQL Server. Or Oracle, you can use sequence. Are you guys with me? Come on, help me out.
Yes, yes.
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 Okay, great. So this is what I was talking about here. Coming back to the position, if you see, looking at the picture, what exactly picture is demonstrating here? It says EMP_SID. So employee name, department number, transaction ID. Then we have a factors of salary. So you can see you have a different department SID. So you can see even department also have. So most of the dimension table would have the surrogate key, and you understand what is the benefit out of it, right? Do you need them? Not need them. Please be specific. Come on, help me out. Do you need
We
them?
need them to identify the latest records.
Oh, no, that is not identifying. Identifying, you'll have a flag, 0 and 1. This is differentiating the records one to another. Make sense?
Yes.
You could have a duplicate if you have a primary key and employee number or employee ID though. Coming back to the dimension model, you should have perfect design, which will actually coming out from surrogate key. Make sense? Guys, come on, help me out if you understood correctly or you want to rewind back.
Got it.
Cool. So what are the different benefits you get when you have a surrogate key in your dimension table? Reusable key over the period of time, that is perfectly fine. It handles being used for the dimension data change over the period and can get the current state of the data as well for the previous stages too, right? So there would be different functionalities, which is called flag. So I have just given an Excel sheet here. I'm sorry. What else is missing here is actually 1, and here, sorry, this is 1 and this is 0. What does this mean, guys? Can you please help me out?
1 is latest and 0 is old one.
Perfectly fine. So if you want to really go and see them, all your latest active 1, go for flag equal to 1. Regardless of surrogate key, it will take all the active records, isn't it?
Yes.
See the period, you won't get from here. You have to go for 0 and find out a difference. If I go ahead and say, hey, I want to go for a date difference. So if I say date difference, or I can simply go for minus if you don't mind. Let me go for an end date this, and if I go for this, there we go. 752 days. Am I correct, guys?
Yes.
Please help me out if you understood correctly. This is absolutely not acceptable. 2 lines, and this is the value, right? So what is happening is here you can figure out how many days you would actually need them. So if it is a 1, I would not even go for a calculation, although if it is only 0, I should go and get the duration when I was in India. Everybody, please focus. Most important topic these days. People talk about older change data. People talk about the, all your dimensions. So trust me, when you come to this arena, especially the BI and dashboards and KPIs, metrics, people would definitely say this and you would try to die yourself if you don't understand. Please put on your focus here. For me, I'll explain it and go, but you have to understand more perfectly. I may just want to check, is recording is started today?
Yeah, recording is there. It's
Okay, these are very important chapters. So guys, you have you seen the other recordings as well? So did you receive 2 recordings?
no, we have received only one till now.
I think we had 2 classes, isn't it? Okay, we'll approach her in order to get the recording back. No worries. So please be specific. Recordings are very important. Take a look when you have a time. Okay, so now let's talk about a bit of more of this sections. So surrogate key use from the source data externalization is concerned where if there is no key available at source and need to be uniquely identified at record. That is something. What happens is you may not have a kind of a primary key or may not have. So I'm not saying that you don't have in production, but somebody is giving your data. If they completely lost giving the employee ID or some sort of keys, so you can still go ahead and generate the surrogate key. Surrogate key is not at all worried of your primary key, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
Surrogate keys is important to use when someone want to use for implementing slowly changing dimension. So what did we see just now? An Excel sheet definition was a slowly changing dimension. The name itself says slowly changing. That means the dimension is changing over the period. Guys, am I audible? Am I completely making this sense now? So what have we spoken since half an hour? Are you guys being able to get to know or completely out of sync? Please help me out. Everybody, Tejas, Rohit, Jagriti, come on.
Yes, understanding.
Yes, Indra.
Okay, I can't see a lot of people talking. Not sure today. Vidya. We are
Yes,
missing-
yes.
Okay to understand, right?
Yes.
Where's Chinmay? Chinmay is here. Chinmay, Harshal.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Gopal, Jagriti is missing today, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, good. No worries. Okay, so the reason I'm focusing more, emphasizing more, because these are very important topic. And trust me, you may not have a time to go back on videos and may not have a time to go back on YouTube to learn very separately. Otherwise, you could have done it before coming to the Power BI, but these are very important and please focus here. So, excuse me. So there's a different kind of dimension tables available. Give me a second, guys. I'll just take a sip of water. Sorry. So when you define a dimension, so let's say I'll give you one simple definition of, I need to go and get my financial dashboards up. At the same time, I also want to see the sales dashboards, how the sales is happening. So can you correlate 2 things? Sales and finance, are they interchangeable or are they connected? Are they completely not connected? Are they completely, it's a stupid idea to have your finance and sales together. Can you please put focus on that?
They are connected.
They are connected. Okay, I got one answer. How about other guys, man? Come on, help me out. Everybody.
They are connected.
Why they're connected? How they're connected?
Because based on the based on the sales, they have to adjust the finances also.
Why they have to adjust the finance? Sales is finance. What is revenue coming is the finance. Why they have to adjust? I don't understand this terminology. You want to go and changes on your, the production quantity and prices. That's never happens, right? Until you do a back, write back. So you're saying whatever sales trading is done, that goes to the books. Am I correctly understood? Right?
Yes.
Vidya?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So you're great. You are perfectly right. So when you do any trade, that trade has your ticker, stock ID, whatever you call it. And then you have your plus or minus with quantity and the pricing, and which you summarize, product with price into the quantity, and you get the value or the actual sales value. Whereas this sales is going to give you, so when I go for sales background of the dashboard, it talks about only sales. Does it talks about only money? Help me out. If my sales talking about revenue, is it not combination? If I talk about only sales, if I'm interested in only sales, what are the numbers are doing it? Right? I'm achieving my targeted, value. So, okay, come on, help me out. Two things. Gopal, this question goes to you. When you do a yearly budgeting, are you budgeting for only for revenue or also budgeting for your, kind for quantity or sales growth?
Yeah, we do for product wise, for the location, everything will be budgeted.
How does their
So revenue will,
how they connected?
the number of sales you make, it will generate the revenue and it will be marked to the finance. The product, this product is performing very well. So we get the revenue from that product or from that category, revenue by location. All this comes into picture.
So when you do this, in a statistical discussion for the next year or budgeting for the next year, do you talk about only revenue or do you talk about the numbers to grow in terms of quantity sold?
Yes, we do. See, when we do budgeting, we look at what has happened to the past. So maybe if we take an example of location, we would like to see what were our weakest location where we got the lowest revenue and the highest revenue. And we might want to focus on some locations which are able to generate some good, we have chances of generating more revenue.
You're saying revenue and location. So still you talk about revenue, man. You're not talking about quantity at all.
Yeah, see, if you then of course on the location wise, if I am able to sell more product, what product should I sell in this particular location?
Less and more is fine, but I'm asking, when you do a kind of a budgeting, do you focus on your revenue budgeting, or you talk about, okay, this part quantity will be selling, okay, 10 numbers, make it 20 numbers. Is that you do, or you say, come on, revenue is 5 million, make it 1.5 more, make it 6.5 next year. What exactly happens? When you create a statistics for the next year, the budgeting for the next year, is it revenue based or sales based? That's my open question.
It's a sales based.
Correct. It never be quantity based. There's a two reasons. Number one, you may change your quantity name, or you may, I would say, you may discontinue some of the product during the budgeting. Am I clear?
Yeah, it's true.
You will launch new product too, right? So it is never quantity basis. It has to be a revenue basis, logically. Now, why I'm making you confused, because I want a dashboard which talks about a sales and it talks about a kind of a revenue. If I give you both file, which is a quantity budgeted and the sales budgeted, right? And I want to show them on my screen, right? Maybe one dashboard or 2 days. Maybe sales people look after sales, or finance people look after the finance. But ultimately, we're making a kind of a dashboard. So the first important aspects, the major and your dimensions would same, right? Yes or no? You dimension like fact, product you needed, store you needed, customer you needed.
Yes.
Right? Date dimension
Right.
you needed. So is it not the same dimension we're talking about, isn't it?
Yes, we are. All these dimensions will be reused by all these facts.
Sure. So if I ask you to design this, Gopal, would you like to go and copy them together, or have one database for sales, one for finance? What would be your approach?
No, it will be
I
one
hope you got my
database.
question, right?
Uh,
This question is clear. Okay, go ahead, Vishal.
Yeah, it's going to be one database. One dimension will be connected to one of these fact table, and the same dimension can be connected to another fact, sales revenue, the product sales.
So
All
you-
these can be connected together
Now, what is the
from
drawback?
the same
if you
fact
have
table.
two-
So
What is the drawback if you have two different databases?
two different data.
Yeah, I'm saying one for sales, one for finance. What is the drawback? What is the problem there?
See, we have to.
Think from a operation perspective. No, if you have two database data warehouse, you need to load the data. No. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Two database means two activities, and then reconciling both of them.
No, I'm saying one is date and customer product source channel would be one database, and then another you have for the finance. Same dimensions. Again, date, customer product store channel. So in this scenario, you have two different databases. You have to run two jobs. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Right? In order to get my dimension, I'm not talking fact load. I'm talking about dimension load. Fact anyhow will be having two jobs only, but dimension also you put in doubles. So your effort is gone up, your support cost is gone up, your data sync is gone up, your data storage is gone up, right?
Yes.
So we have a concept called confirmed dimension. So that's what I'm trying to make you understand. So in confirmed dimension, what it happens, same dimensions can connect any multiple facts. So what is the benefit? You're not loading number of times. You're not making data sense. You're actually saving a lot of data storage spaces, especially in cloud. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Confirmed dimension. So most of the time you'll be using confirmed dimension on your dimension history or your design, I would say. The next is called junk dimension. So a random transaction code flag coming off a fact table for non-business usage. Have you ever come across that you have a separate flags for your company, right? Apart from your data. For example, you have a gender, male, female, right? You have, some specific, I would say, status coded. For example, marital status code is there. Or you'll have true, false. You'll say yes, no. There will be kind of a flags data coming in. So at time, you would like to have a separate dimensions in order to get them done. So you can have one dimension which will have only the flag specific. 0, 1, yes, no, true, false, male, female, right? Marital status. Have you seen that on your dimensions? They are very important, although they're very small, but they do importance. Right?
All right. We do have.
So we have something called junk dimension. Though people not using in production, to be very honest, I have never worked on junk dimension because I've never seen, we never created a separate dimension for, keeping data specifically for that. We have some similar concepts that's called lookup tables. So we do
One question.
Yeah.
One question on junk dimension. See, the gender and the martial status, this can be under reference table, where even if we flag it 0, 1, we can convert it in as a dimension.
As a part of it, as an attribute in a dimension, as a it is doing it right away.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, but man, here is only 1 or 2, right? If it is multiple. Okay, let's talk about, you understand workflow, isn't it? Workflow.
Yes, yes.
So workflow has a different statuses. Or if you don't want to go for workflow, let's have you talk about a ticketing then. You understand ticketing? You must be, right? Ticketing.
Yeah.
So there will be new first time, right? Then will be assigned. Then
Right.
in progress. Then
Closed.
final, or maybe doing it, or maybe in a final stage. Then we go for testing. then completed, and then closed. Come on, help me out. Am I making sense? Come on.
Yes, yes, we do have.
So this is there in your data. Now here you have one or two. Numerics fine, but these are not numeric, my dear friends. What do you do then?
Okay, we store these as numbers or numerical values. We store them as young
So you
dimension.
have a
Got
lookup
it.
table, isn't it?
Yep.
You call, I'll tell you lookup. I will write LKP statuses. Come on, does it make sense? Yes or no, guys? Please help me out if I'm making sense at all.
Yes.
So let me do it like this, and I would go ahead and delete other stuff to make it slow. And if I take this here, then I take this, and I take this. So if you do understand this, you will do a best design. If you don't, then there would be a biggest issue. So I may go ahead and I will put it here. I'll say, okay, I will say, and let me say status, it's ID. Then I'll say status code, status, only status. Then start date, end date, active flag. Now, why do we need them here also? So does it make sense if I write this way? Right? I may have, let's say 0, 1, 2, 3. Guys, please understand. If you really having question, please ask me. Okay. How does it make sense now? Come on.
How can active flag be one for all statuses?
So why do we still have this? Even you have a statuses. Why do we have these three? What is the use? And which ID should go to my dimension? This one or this one? Sorry. In my dimension table or a fact table, wherever you go and join them, will I need this or will I need this?
Status ID.
Should we wish to go ahead and do this coding? Status code?
Status ID. Status ID.
ID, SID, I mean surrogate
Yes.
key.
Yes.
It's called SKID. So this one we need. And here also the number of statuses you can add, but you can also see which status was being drawn. For example, doing, I don't want. Doing is not needed. Then what do I do then? I'll get the X number. Am I clear? Let's take this doing and make it some changes, my dear friend here. So doing is not needed. So what do I do? I'll take this doing and make it 0. And I want, whenever I want to go for changes, let's say 2201 0. Okay, so I can make it 1, and then this start date becomes like this. Oh, no, sorry, this has to come here. Start date, and then sorry, 0102, this, yeah. So doing, I would say processing. Does it make sense? Are we talking the sense here? So a lot of your statistics, number of ticketing done or doing, let's say 50 or 10 numbers. Now they're saying processing 10 numbers. So does it make sense to understand with that? But only that name changed. But when did we make changes? When the doing was there, till what to what date the doing was there? Am I clear in your reporting? Can your customer come back and says that, okay, maybe you're having your statistics report on a daily, monthly basis. You say, now it's giving you processing, earlier it was having doing. Guys, come on, help me out if you understand this correctly. It's very, very important aspects. Do not take it lightly. It is important and you guys have to really work upon. I put in a chat window in case if you want to need them, please utilize them. Clear? Questions? Anything right now?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. Let me store this URL for me. No worries. Okay.
Actually, I was able to understand the example, but don't know. I mean, why we're discussing this example? Because I mean, junk dimension, like you mentioned, those are the flags one which are there, and then I understood the confirmed dimension, but then what was?
No worries. So looking at this, how many flags you can, how many columns you can, put in that, and 0 and 1. 0 is what, 1 is what? Can you make it out?
Yeah, 0 is inactive and 1 will be active.
How do you know that?
Yep, based upon that, you're talking about the same employee, right?
This is assumption. Right? This is assumption. Have you written anywhere? Would anybody go and write this document? Anything? No.
No.
More as support people changes. They more understand what is flag, what is one. I know looking at the data, they can still make it out if they have some background of the data item. But isn't it? It's not going to give you, let's say you have more than one flags, then what will do? This is what it is, right?
Okay.
In your ticketing, the says we have a new, you may assign in progress, and then we do doing testing complete. Is it not on one particular process flow although? Am I writing a logical way? Right?
Okay. Okay.
When you put your data here, you can see what status is. It is a new, it is a closed, it is, so you'll have a statistics, right? So let's say the dashboard, number of open tickets. Will you do that? Right? So if it is not closed, my dear friend, everything is open. No. Yes.
Okay.
Then number of, closed tickets for that particular month. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So think from a ticketing statistics dashboard point of view. Right? So these data will go where? It'll go to your dimension table only, right? So I'm saying a separate table altogether to have those statuses. You never know how many statuses you can introduce more and how many you don't want them. Right? It's a data warehouse and you have to be very open hands. Your hands to be very open to take any items.
Okay.
Make sense? So this is called lookup table, and that lookup table you can connect to your dimension table or a fact table. So you can take the data, right, on a fact, or you can combine them in dimension. So they have a status ID here, isn't it? So despite of this flag here, I may use
status ID, right?
What ID do I going to use? This one.
Status. First one is ID.
Does it make sense now?
Yes.
Got your answers done?
Yeah.
So I can use 1 or whatever is saying 2, whichever it is. Clear?
Yes.
So here what I have a masters. I have a lookup here. So isn't it I'm going to go and change what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, when it started, what is active. So is it not giving you more detail rather than having very absolute numbers 0 and 1, which has no value at all?
Yes.
Neither you go and document them. It's going to be very pretty small stuff. And trust me, not only me, I may be fool if I'm saying that. Nobody does it, right? Nobody does it in the industry. Who will go and write for 0 and 1 value and where they're going to keep it and what they're going to keep it? How the person will write and what the person will understand. So better you have a look here, right?
Yes.
So let me tell you, I've done 20 years in IT industry, and what I've learned is do whatever the clean database design you do. Trust me, anywhere in the world, even the kids of 10 years old can understand. When I design, I have a son of my 8-9 years old. He understands how the data is going here to there. He also says that this data is going for here and you go to this table. He does not understand the relationship, but he says this is how it's going. So I design on my big board I have in room, and he comes up in my study room and see that. So understand the designing has to be so good that a small kid can understand, right? Why I'm taking a kid as an example, because your customer may be very good in their business, but may not understand the technology at all. So looking at the first example, which was this, looking at this example, which one you prefer and why?
Yeah, the second one on status ID.
Yeah. Okay. I hope is making sense you to understand. So I'm putting focus you guys, giving you kind of a data to make you understand. Right?
Right.
You'll understand more when you go a little further.
And one more thing, in that example where employee ID was there, like we were able to know which employee ID, I mean, what was the location earlier and what is new, currently one. But what if there was we mentioned that sometimes we are using surrogate key, there might not be an employee ID. In that way, how will we be able to track that this is the employee whose location has been changed? And,
okay, surrogate key will be incremental. Now, employee ID is not there, then you have to go by a name or something. So anyhow, production would have that. In case there's nothing is there, so you have to figure out how you're gonna make this Gopal as identification here.
okay. Or
So
you will
you
need
can say,
to.
okay, I can create G_123, isn't it? Right.
Right.
So this you put it somewhere, wherever the Gopal comes, you put it this.
Correct.
This is no use for you, because if your employee ID is not coming out from your production, you would not use. You can go by names, right? Because if you talk about a production data, they will not go for a name or ID. These two things are not at all being used. There would be statistics. How many between this India has employees, US has employees, how many during this, right? Let me tell you, any analysis cannot be based on one detailed transaction or one employee or one sales, right? It has to be all statistics, all measures, numbers. So to answer your question back, most of the time we'll have our data. If not, get the data back saying that I don't have a primary key or I don't have a user ID. How you want to make it? Because you are not production data. You guys are reporting data. So tell them my production team that, okay, hey, I have all the data, but it's the employee ID missing. So he said, no, I don't need an employee ID. Go and use location ID. I want a numbers. That's fine. Isn't it? Is it clear?
Yes.
So sometimes what I'm saying, a lot of time what will happen, you may not be having ID. You will have your, let's say I'm giving you product name. Sorry. Right. But they do not have a product ID. So you can generate 0102. Am I clear? So whatever number is there, ABC, you can keep it as a dimension. So wherever the fact they'll represent, they represent this key, right? Am I clear? So fact will have some measures for one. So are you correlating now? Help me out if you can.
Yes, yes. It is referring to product A.
So even you don't have an employee ID, still your fact data is there, isn't it? Nothing to do with reporting. Trust me, you give me any problem in data, I can't challenge, but I'll definitely give you a solution.
Okay.
So I've seen enough data.
Right.
So see, ultimately we're getting a sum, right? I can produce my dashboard. That's it.
Correct. So see, in this case itself, say for example, there's only one product name, right? So we have product names like A, then duplicates are there. Then in that case, what will you do? I mean, we can say even if
loading fact, loading dimension. Let me be very specific.
in dimension.
Dimension would be if it is one. So if it is, it just goes on. If you're going for what mode? Absurd. Absurd. You understand what is absurd?
Updates and inserts.
Right. So probably if you already have a data A, why you want to update them? Until unless you make changes in A to B. or A2, alpha A. Right? So you need to do, now here you don't have a code, you'll be matching. So if you have employee code, you can match, right? If you nothing, then you have to go for product to product name, right? The data, let's say I'm loading a data of your products. So there would be a product name, isn't it?
Yes.
So can I match this?
Yes, you can.
If totally new product has come,
Hmm.
so how do you make sure? Because there's no ID.
So actually, in our use case, what happens is that we do have a product name, okay, but that actually is supposed to be referred to one particular product code, okay.
Yes.
But what happens that product name itself, now it is written in different ways, and the customer is not ready to provide product code in that scenario. Then what they do is they give us the actual name which is supposed to be there. Say for example, one product is,
So what happened when the product name changes, my dear friend?
yeah, so that is what. So maybe in one transaction data they will give me fire-1, then will give me fire-2, then they will give me another table which will be saying ki fire-1 and fire-2 is
Okay,
matching.
fire is common, right? Here I
Yeah,
can see
fire,
fire is
correct,
common.
correct.
So see, it's a logic to be developed, to be very honest. See, I'll tell you, I am being there in industry for 20 years and I saw a lot of data being coming very, very, stupid or illogical. I shouldn't use this word, but I'm telling you in front. So what of time happens? What I do, the first thing being a data warehouse guys, I simply say, hey man, where the data is coming out? Talk to the data guys and tell them, look, this is the data coming out. You want to develop the dashboards for you? Or for the client, I cannot do that. Would you please go ahead and give me code, or you provide me code, write a simple incremental code. I don't mind. If the backend team says no, Indra, I can't give you because I don't have it, then I create my own. Then have to tell me, do you going to change complete product name? He said no. At least fire will be there. So I can say fire something, and like I can have or condition or something like that, right? So fire something you said, I can split into this logic and then I can compare with them. Am I clear?
Yes. Okay.
So string comparison, honestly speaking, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be very faster than a normal IDs. So prefer to have your data correct. So if you don't, data is not correct, please do not accept it. Go and talk to your team, data team. Tell them what is needed. Or if product comes a description, no worries. I've given you the answer, right? You can create your description. So fire, let's say A. Fine. So this has the data and fact. Now if you want to make it a fire A plus B something, or fire A, let's say fire alpha, but make sure are the same product. So then you have to create here as a 0 and 1. Am I clear? Same like here we did, right? Which is the active one? Fire A is active or fire alpha is active? Am I clear?
Yes.
Because you'll have a surrogate key. So if it is active, then it's gonna be 1. If it is 0, then what is this? The another surrogate key will come 4. So here will be 4, right? So your measures are safe. This measure belongs to 4 or this measure belongs to 1. Am I clear? Sure. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. Little smaller. Cool. Degenerated dimension. A lot of time what happen, you may get an Excel sheet and ask you, hey man, I have only one Excel sheet. Please load your into data warehouse. What will do, Gopal, then?
I didn't get them. I didn't get the question. Yeah.
You do not got the question. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
I'll give you one Excel sheet, has all the data right away. Okay.
Mm.
And you have a dimension model at your modeling.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sure that you can load all your dimension? Because I'll give you only one table and only one file, which has all the data. It has summary. I mean, it has my measures and dimensions too. It's like a fact data coming out from your production. So they're
So
not.
yes, we will have to break the data into the dimensions. So we all the dimensions will be like we will have to do a distinct from this Excel sheet and create our own dimension from it.
Okay. Yes.
Segregate the measures from it.
Correct.
The
This particular exercise known as degenerated dimension. Okay. Dimension which you're generating from your transaction data. Am I clear?
Yes.
Sometimes you'll have it, but mostly I'll tell you one thing, I'm very bad, and my managers and senior management customers knows that Indra is very finicky. I don't trust if data is not correct, go away, go to hell. I don't want to work. Come on, throw it out. I throw all the data, go back. You guys giving me a shit data. How do I go and produce a dashboard, man? Come on, give me good data. I can't do a data quality team working for here. Trust me, rather than teams and management put on pressure on me, I pressurize my customer like hell. Every day the call comes 11, 12 o'clock after your meeting. I'll go and tell them what is there, what is the data you're giving me. I don't want this data. I cannot produce a report. If you want to produce a report, give me certain data. This is the format I'm looking at. So there would be a time that you have to go and tell them format, isn't it, right? Gopal, especially for you, when you start a project, I would suggest go and create a format first. What is the input source type coming in, right? What are the different format they have? Look whether you can do designing out of it or not. Isn't it? Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
If it's not there, go back and throw them. Nothing, no worries. Job is job. What they're doing is they're actually working, they're working less and giving you all the work to you. It's better let them work. I want a clean data. Now there will be two exercises. Are you doing data quality as a project within the data warehousing project? The answer is no. It is not a data quality project. It is a data warehousing project. So yes, if you have data quality, do this data quality cleaning and everything. At certain stage, you do it little bit cleaning, but cleaning is different than having a structurally change. Am I clear? I can take a null value, I can split it, I can join, right? So the certain transformations you would see in Power BI also that you will do it, but not all of them are specifically designed problem. Okay, next very important, role-playing dimension. So Vidya, question goes to you. Reading out these two statements, please, explain us what exactly do you understand? Vidya, I'm audible to you.
Yeah, yes, you're audible.
Please go ahead, read it out for us.
Dimensions which are being used for many purposes for the same database are called as role-playing dimension. Example, a date dimension can be used date of sales as well as date of delivery or date of hire.
Yeah.
This is based on the purpose of the date column. It is been used. Like those are called as role-playing dimensions.
So what exactly this mean? Understanding in English is fine, but can you give us one example? Those being the examples, date of sales, date of delivery, and date of hire. What is exactly it mean? Okay, one example, Vidya. You being mother, you being sister, you being, you'll have you have a lot of relatives coming to you. You have different name. You're also sister, you're also daughter, you're also mother, you're also wife, right? But you being one, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Right, don't take me wrong, nothing personal here. I've just taken a simple example. I hope you don't mind, right?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Apology if you were really offended, but this is what I'm trying to explain to you. So you being a one single model, you have a different, plays a role to play, isn't it? As a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, right?
Correct.
As a friend, you will have a friends as well. So the role you play with a friend, say, come on, you talk about what you're talking about, right? You talk about different level of your friends, right? Talking to your dad is going to be different level. Talking to your kids, talking to your husband, right? So you're the only one. See how many roles you play, right? Isn't it? You have to understand what is choose the right words here when you're talking to me, talking to your husband, talking to everybody. So there's one day is being actually playing a lot of different varieties of data, isn't it? Right? The date of sales, date of delivery, date of hire, they all are date, right? But the same date is playing different angles, right? If I ask you how many sales happen, in what date, how many sales done? Okay, how many deliveries done today? So Amazon comes and give you delivers, let's say 3 packets a day. Sometimes happens. So is it not saying, oh, yesterday I got 3 packets? This is what you say, isn't it? Yes. You don't say 3 packets, I got it. But when did you got it, right? You must say yesterday, right? Date of hire. You say, okay, particular date I'm hiring 100 people, isn't it? So basically, net to net, here I'm saying is you have date, but they play a lot of different roles. But actually, this is not a dimension. Date, it's itself a dimension, but there's nothing called role-playing dimension. It is just to explain you that same date can play as a different roles. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Guys, everybody are clear?
Yeah, yes. This like for example, one employee can be an employee and manager as well. That would be
Perfectly
like,
fine, right? Right example. It's up to you, man. So employee ID and manager ID, they are being actually same. See, manager always talk about as management, huh?
right.
Okay. So now let's move on. Now this is exactly a very important aspects, important concept now. So you understood what is the base of dimension table, what are the characteristics and attributes they have, what is a surrogate key, and followed by benefits of surrogate key, and then what is the categories of dimension table. Anybody has any questions so far? Are we good to understand with? Team, come on, help me out. Speak up, please.
Yeah, fine. I understood.
Fine.
Can you give an example of degenerated dimension? Because this is particular value what we get from.
So degenerated
these are actually the measures or
no,
a fact what we are capturing in the dimension.
No, it has complete detail. Give me a second. May I please open this syllabus? Where it is, man? Practice. Give me a second. Where is my sample data? Syllabus, latest presentation, Power BI. Where is got my sample data? I kept it somewhere. Give me a minute. I'll just show you a minute.
I think it's in previous directory.
Come again?
Previous directory.
Oh, they must be here then. No worries. I would go ahead and get one in data. Yes, it's there for you. Okay. So here in this data, it looks like all dimension, isn't it? Yes or no, guys? Please help me out.
Yes, all dimensions.
How about this?
Yes, again, all
How
dimensions.
about this?
Yes.
How about this?
Yes.
But it has. Do you think it's only dimension here? Please be specific. Please see carefully.
North, south, east, west. What is that?
Is it not measures?
Those looks like measures.
It is not looks like it is. It is a set.
Yeah.
Fine.
Does it make sense that that is why I was saying?
Yeah. So see here, you got a dimension and you got a fact together, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if what is going to be columns we're going to take out for the employee is going to be this three, right?
Yes, correct.
These are locations. That's going to be separate dimension, isn't it? Right. So fact will have this location ID and the employee ID and the measures. Am I clear? We'll talk about it a little later. So here, if you want to take out a fact dimension here, that's called degenerated dimension, isn't it? Because it has measures and fact together. And if I add this, for that matter, if I also add this here, it's going to be very tough for you, isn't it? You got my point? Enable editing is actually, I need to enable it. But if I do that, what would be the case? Again, a dimension, isn't it? What do you think, guys? Hey, Gopal. I mean, come
Yes,
on, you hear
this
me,
will
right?
be another. This will be another dimension, but north,
If I'm
south,
putting
east,
into
west.
one, I'm putting in one sheet. That's it. One sheet. All my data. All my data at one sheet. A lot of time you'll get one Excel sheet, man. Trust me, a lot of it happens.
No,
And
we get only one sheet only.
you got the answer. So you need to figure out which all going to be dimension. But here, for example, Rachel, right? Monica. So they are already employee, they've been already inserted. There would be a kind of employee dimension. Am I correctly saying this? If you guys understood. So I have one is Rachel, right? Am I clear? One would be Rachel, and two would be, let's say, Gopal. So each time you'll have a data, would you go and create the dimension table?
No,
Will you?
no,
Huh?
no.
So basically, if something new comes, you will be generating it. For example, Joy has come. It was not there before. Then it's a new one, right? So this dimension is known as degenerated dimension. Whose question was it? Is? Can you please come up with the name?
Yeah, mine.
Mine. So is it clear now? So if you have one detailed data and out of that you need to generate your dimension, it's called degenerated dimension. Then that is only Gopal in text of file. But if you're having a database, no, if you're getting a DB link, you understand DB link, right?
Yes.
Database link. Here you have employee as a separate table, right? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Then it's fine. No, then you have a dimension table here. So you can 1 to 1 and you can have a stubs. Clear, guys, everybody? This is normal dimension. It can never be degenerated, but this is degenerated coming out from your data. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going for the biggest and very, beautiful concepts. Is called slowly changing dimension. Give me a second, guys. Guys, can you give me 1 minute? I'll just come back. Gopal, can I take 1 minute?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, guys. So the most important part here is we have to talk about a dimension which changes over the period. That's known as slowly changing dimension. Now you may understand why do we need them. Looking at this Excel sheet right now, Gopal, can you hear me?
So one question, say for example, one employee is there in company for say 2 days and then he leaves. Then that employee ID can it be reused for another employee coming in?
No, it never happens. Whose company does it? It never happens. Employee ID generated. It would be
Okay.
0. That's it.
Okay.
I never seen this happen. Is it happen in your company?
No. But I was just asking. I mean, I'm not aware. But
No, it never happens in the world. Once employee ID is generated, that is gone.
okay.
Because employee ID is like a primary key, no? So let's
Correct.
say this. Fine. Let's say it is 1, 2, 3. It
Hmm.
cannot be next as 1, 2, 3. It should be like 1, 2, 4, right? But let's say 1, 2, 3 left the company or resigned the company.
Hmm.
You cannot leave the data because once you come back, you would not restart the same employee ID. You may go for a new employee ID, but you have a history, right?
Okay. Okay.
If you delete them, how do you get the history, man? How do you do background verification for a company for an employee? Never happens. You do not delete and
Okay.
do not use the same employee ID.
Okay.
Okay. So looking at this data right away, and you have this is coming in place. So here you have active flag where you have a start and a stop, I mean end. It is actually has a history, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's understand what is slowly changing dimension. Dimension table which changes over the period is called slowly changing dimension, right? Is actually need to check and validate data wherever you're loading the data, especially historical data and definitely incremental, which is delta. So once data is loaded fully, you have your dimensions as already populated. But when you load the data, so what is the data you load every day? Is it dimension data or a fact data?
Fact data.
Fact data, the daily sales, right? Do you launch product every day?
Rarely.
No,
The answer is no, right?
definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
Do you add customers every day?
Yes. Customers.
Every day. I disagree.
Oh, quite possible, right?
Not possible.
Not.
Every day you can't go for so many customers.
So it depends on the domain. Like with credit card, yes, we will have ad customers.
Anyway, so the idea is taking is if you have fact data, you would definitely, if something new comes up, you will be adding the dimension, right? So even when you have dimension table or a customer or anything, if you make changes with the existing customer, right? So there's a 2 scenario. What did you just speak up? There's a 2 scenario. Number 1, modify, isn't it? Let's talk about a new and then talk about modify. Am I clear? It has 2 scenario here, yes or no? So this is the modify case here. Rest new cases are here. Please help me out if I'm wrong, right? Whatever it may be. Right? So only when modify needed. So if modify needed, I'll go and do that code, right? I'll go and fetch the code. This code versus the data code. And if it is available, it is only modify. If it is not available, it is new. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now, having said that, you would actually go and load your transaction data. So basically, when you go for loading, you would go for loading if some new transaction has a new customer, it should populate a customer first because you would go and do a lookup into the customer dimension. If that name is available, you do take the code. If that name is new or so customer code is not at all available, you'll be creating new one, getting a new ID and pushing to the fact. Clear?
Clear. But just thinking how it is relating to this slowly changing dimension.
I'll come to that. I'll come to that. You'll be looking at then able to understand what I'm saying here.
Okay.
So basically what I'm saying, looking at the employee table right away, what did you do in the employee? Is it not changing the location for Gopal?
Yes, it is
Yes,
showing.
yes.
So is it not changing? Is it a slowly changing dimension? Yes or no? Do you have a history? Then how many days you are in India and now how many days in US?
Mm.
Isn't it? But employee ID does not change. Come on, help me out.
Correct.
If you move, I don't know for the company in India, what happened? They put a new employee. They don't have a history in India. But there will be something, right? They would have all employee ID or Indian employee ID and US employee ID when you go and create a report, isn't it? So a lot of time people move from India to US. The same company. Let's say I work for TCS and TCS India has one employee ID. TCS US will have another employee ID. You know how they work? Anybody must be knowing it. You must know IT. You guys have worked on over and you traveled abroad, and also you and friends. What happens is they resign the company in India, guys. They resign the company in India, serve the notice period, and they join a fresh company, TCS US. In this scenario, does they have employee ID? Guys, please help me out.
Yes, they do have employee ID.
They do have employee ID, but they don't have a old data, no? They are terminated in India, no? They are closed, resigned.
They keep the old Indian employee ID in the.
Yes, I'm not saying we're denying it. So how do you go and they have to give you employee ID to find, right?
Right.
There, but the status is closed. They are not active. Right? So I can still go ahead and create the report. India ID and tenure and US ID and tenure. Am I clear? So this is called slowly changing dimension. Having said that, his KRA also may change, but as a person, name cannot be changed, right? Employee ID, once it is generated, cannot be changed. Correct? So what is changing? Here, what is the change item? Can you please help me out? In this complete table, what is the change item?
Location and date.
Location and?
Date.
No.
Start date and date.
No, wrong. And condition always goes false if both of not true.
Location or date.
No, only location. Where is the date? Date you're updating, my dear friend. You're updating the date. The day moment is making change, right? Isn't it? In this scenario, where is the date? It is only start date, no end date, right? Until you make modification, there would be no end date. It's a default value, isn't it? Wherever the flag 1 is a default value, whereas the 0, it will have some value. So here is only location is changing. So changing dimension column is location. Yes or no?
Yes.
This is the area it's been changed. Nothing else. So this is called slowly changing dimension for employee. Right?
Also, if person's name changes after marriage, then that would be also name would be slowly changing dimension, right? Employee ID would be remaining the same.
Yeah, in the case of female, yes, the surname comes, but not the first name changing, man. It's only the surname, second name, last name.
Yeah, in some cases, first name is also changed.
Oh, is that?
For females, yeah.
Yeah. I never saw this, man. I don't know. That's
No, it is fairly common.
Fairly common.
Yeah.
Vidya, what is your full name? Tell me. Now take an example right away. Vidya, are you there? Can you hear me? Looks like she's not there.
She left for Scrum call.
Okay. So who's there? Let's take it to you. Asmina, right?
Yes, yes.
What's your full name, Asmina?
Asmina Puja.
So as of now, name change not happened. I know second name should change, Gopal. First name, I have a doubt. Maybe it happens. But anyway.
No, it changes. It changes. First name also changes.
Yes. In some cases, yeah. Mostly in those cases, they might change.
Okay.
After marriage, after marriage, some girls change their
my wife
first name as well.
Dipali Sinha, now she has become Dipali Verma. So only the last name changes. I don't know if you talk about a first name also change. A lot of people does not do that due to Aadhaar card change and passport change. But anyway, that's a different story. But if you want to change,
Yeah.
then you have
Few
to,
cases they change.
okay, then you have to interact with your employee ID. The employee ID has to be same. It cannot be changed. Only when they, let's say I talk about this, and if I say Gopal G, what change is happening here, Gopal?
My name has changed.
But code,
It remains same.
then that's the only thing we can look after, right? In your report, none of them comes in, honestly speaking. When it goes to the dashboard, neither they worried about employee ID and code, they're worrying about how many sales you did, isn't it? If you're a sales guy. Correct? So, but yes, to answer your question, you can have your dimension changes in terms of a name. Don't change the code. Code should not change. If you're changing the code, there's a new employee comes up, right? So this is called changing column. Which one you want to change? Location, name, start date, whatever it may be. So coming back to the point. So customer in India, and every month he does some shopping and then he move out to US, then probably you have to get your dimension changed. So slowly dimension methodology has a 3 different types, guys. So SCD is clear, right? Slowly changing dimension. The concept is clear, isn't it?
Yes.
Now here, the concepts of changing dimension, there's a 3 different types are there. So let's talk about those types available. Number 1, self-explanatory would be there. So this is number 1, guys. Right? So I would take it to the, it's too big. Let's keep it here so that you can understand properly. You can see them properly. Okay, looking at this example, what is happening, guys? Please explain it out. Guys, this is also changing, right? Customer.
Customer type is changing.
So, is there maintaining any history?
No, I think.
That means they are overwriting this, isn't it?
Yes.
So, this is called type 1. Replace the old value to new values. That means one can get the latest value always. Make sense?
Yes.
This is SCD1. Do you think this is needed in your warehouse? I think it's a bullshit. You should not need it. Do you need them?
No, I mean, definitely will. Wherever history is there, then it's of no use.
No, you need to have a product name. If you change the name, when did you change, man? You have to get this answers, right? So I don't think so. I never worked anything as CD1, honestly speaking, in my complete career. I worked in CD2 always.
Okay.
So it's up to you where you don't want to keep the history. You can go for 1. Nobody's stopping you as well.
Correct.
But that's not gives you a right feeling. But tomorrow, you see that the analysis may change later on in the future, right? The customer may come back and, hey, Indra, please give me that. Okay, how many times this guy is being changed? It was let's say I'm an outsider trainer. Tomorrow I join to your company. I become an internal trainer, right? So my name does not change. What is changing? The vendor type. Vendor becomes employee, right?
Yes.
So same here. So it's up to you where to use. Be specific on that. Next, very important that we've been talking since morning. So you understand this?
Yes.
This is what it's saying. So start date and end date. End date, you please put up some value. 99, 99, 12, 31. So 99, 99 is going to be impossible for us to see them, right? It is 2020. So we're never going to see this 9999 at all. So this is a different generation will be there. 12
Like customer is kept in hibernation itself.
Yes. So this is the default value in order to get them. So a lot of time people don't have an end date, any format. They can keep it null. You got my point? But the problem is, if you keep it null, it's very impossible to do calculation. Right?
Correct.
So you can have start date, end date, customer flag. So customer flag right now, it's just yes and no. As I've already spoken, this status, right? You saw that status. Do you remember that? Jump dimension, lookup table, right?
Yes.
You can utilize here. Okay.
Instead of current flag date.
Yes. Now last is very important. It's called adding a new column, SCD3. Now let me tell you, SCD6, there are a lot of SCDs are there which currently people have been using, and I would probably, I'm not using Google today, so let's talk about SCD slowly. Changing dimension. Okay. So here we go. They're saying 4 type, now it's a 6 type, honestly speaking. Adding C, override, creating a new dimension record, adding a new column, using historical table, combined approach of C, we have 6 also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. If you add, you have a 6. Awesome. I would take it a little bigger here, my dear friend. SCD1 is overwriting, creating another dimension record, creating a. So here you create, second you're creating a record, and third you're creating a column. Guys, everybody, overwriting, creating new record, creating new column.
How can be there a type 0? Passive means what?
No passive method. I have never worked on, honestly speaking. Kabhi nahi kiya kaam iske par. Fine. So one is overwriting, second is the new record, and third is column. Fourth is using historical table. So that also I've not worked on. Let's see the fourth. So they're saying, well, they don't have a flag, man. They have a retail, other, and corporate. Same customer has 3 records, but no active, right? Can you see this? This is historical, type 4. It's like a type 2 only, but there's no flag. Correct? But the current is give you the latest one, man. See? Can you see that? It's still overwriting.
Right.
6 is combining everything. Retail, start date, end date, current, corporate type. Hey, it looks like quite a bit similar to 2. Anyway, so I have worked in 2, man. Rest I have not seen them. Maybe I didn't get a chance to do it. Cool. So basically the second one we spoken is actually more adding a new record, whereas third I'm saying adding a new column itself. Can you see that example? Christina, Illinois and California. So the effective date is 15 Jan. Okay. Simple example. How many guys are using net banking?
Everyone.
Okay. Have you seen last login when you log into the bank?
Yes, we do.
This is what it is. Whenever you go, it'll show you the last time when you log in. It will keep storage there until you log into the new time. It overwrites. Make sense? It's useful. Last modified date, last effective date, those are there. Everybody, are we okay with this? Now we'll go and we'll come back after the break and we'll talk about fact. Fact is very important. It'll take some time. So guys, we've been talking about dimension table, attributes, hierarchies. All right, SCDs. Any question?
Nothing as of now.
Okay, nothing from Gopal. Anybody else? Why people are less today, Gopal? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What is this, man? Normally you will be 10 guys, 12 guys, right? How many guys are there in team? I think 10 to 11 people are there, right, Gopal?
I can see only 5.
Okay, no worries. Tejas, Rohit, Rajesh, Harshal, Chinmaya, Asmina, please go ahead and tell me about your thoughts.
Points are
Yeah, all
clear.
good.
All good, okay. So you're able to understand what is hierarchy, what is dimension, slowly changing dimensions and all.
Yes, yes.
Okay, no question, all set right now, guys?
Yeah, looks like everyone's fine.
Okay, good. So we go for a break, come back in 15 minutes. Gopal, I'll take 2-3 minutes more today. There's something urgent. So I'll be in break and you guys can come for 10, 20, 25. So I'll take 5 minutes more, not more than that. Okay?
Okay.
See you then. We'll catch up post a break. We're going to start the fact tables. Stay tuned. Thank you very much. Keep in mute, everybody. See you soon.
demo time.
Hi all. Are we back?
Yes, I'm back.
Good.
Yes, Gopal, I'm back.
Okay.
तो आज ही हो गया
कुछ समझ आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Just asking.
तुम कर दियो बहुत ज्यादा शायद अभी देखा अब जाके देखा नाइस अच्छा किया है
Hi, Indra. Hey, Indra, we are back.
Hey guys, I'm back. Are you guys there?
Yes, yes.
Sorry for delay, man.
We all
Okay. So now we'll talk about fact tables, guys. So far you've seen different dimensions types and how we're going to store the data. And in order to get that business challenges solved. But how do we store the tables? That's very important. So I think we did have a couple of discussions where you saw that how we can see the data granularity. You understand what is data granularity? Guys, please help me out if you understand.
Yes.
Can you repeat the term?
Yeah,
no. No, please explain.
To understand a data granularity, what do you think how the data should be? How you want to store the data? That's the most important part. So here, can you see what is the data level? What level your data is storing? That is called data granularity.
Okay.
So what is the data granularity you would like to save in your fact table?
At the lowest level?
Lowest granularity.
Why?
Because we can always go to higher granularity from lower, but not vice versa.
You can go high to lower.
No, sorry, lower to higher, but not vice versa. If you have data in lowest granularity form, you can always summarize it into higher form. But if you have only higher form data, then you cannot go.
Both ways is possible.
Yeah. No, if you have only summary data and not the lowest granularity level transaction data, then you cannot write if you are loading that into fact.
Okay.
But if you have,
Yeah.
if
Go
you
ahead.
have,
Go ahead.
yeah, if you have lowest transaction level data, like for every day-on-day basis, then you can always drill up to month-wise or quarter or year.
Okay. So are you talking about a data? Or are you talking about a summary? Let's be very specific there.
Yeah, we that is why transaction level data we need, not summary data.
So my question is, what level you want to store the data? This.
Day.
You're saying day.
Yeah.
But day level will have a daily sales, right? Total daily sales.
Because from one particular date, you can always find your month, quarter, day. No? So
Oh, I understand now what you're saying. You're saying if you have a day data like today's date, is that you're saying?
yeah. So from that you can sort it into day, month, quarter, year.
So here you have a DD, MM, YY, and you can go ahead with the hierarchy to make it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So this is the level data which will be storing here.
So what level this is?
Sorry.
What level of this data is?
This is lowest granularity, I mean day level data.
This is day level data, correct. So if you get date, if you go for day level data, I can go to the, I can move up a little bit and I can go for a week. Right?
Yes.
Day to week, week to month, month to quarter, quarter to year. And if you give me data only on a year basis, then
You can't drill down.
can't drill down. Okay. So it is very clear that you talk more data and what granularity, right? So is your this dimension hierarchy which you're making in this is we're doing in the fact or you're doing in dimension table?
Not sure.
Question is clear.
Yeah, you are asking whether we should do this hierarchy in dimensional fact table, right?
Where do you make these hierarchies, guys?
Dimension, I guess. Yes.
Then how come fact will have the data? Basically, you'll have these daily data on your transactions, right? Multiple data you have, correct? And then in order to get the summary of data, how do you do summarize? This is an actual date. Right?
Yes.
So here, I understand if you can get into hierarchy, which is being actually developed in dim_date, a separate table, which says dimension hierarchy and this and this. So how dim table looks like? They have everything here. And they will have only date dimension as a data. So they'll have year, quarter, month, and everything. I don't know how many guys have seen date dimensions. Everybody, please tell me your experiences if you see that date dimension at any time.
I have not seen the dimension data.
You see that? Date dimension. So number one question, why do we need a separate date dimension? We have a date inside it, right? Guys, will you please help me out?
No, can you come again with the question, please?
Why do we need date as a separate dimension?
Yeah, because we have to, for creating this date dimension table, no? So that we can like show reports as per particular month, quarter, or year.
So I need to define a date dimension first, and then after I have to go for a join, isn't it? So let me have your more clarity here. So we have a, let's say, separate date. So we have this date and we'll have a year. Then we have quarter, then we have month, then we have week, then we have a day. So this is separate. So here you will have
This date dimension table, Power BI also creates it on its own, right? We don't have to do anything.
Yes. So there's a tool, Power BI, Cognos, MicroStrategy. You need not to go and have date dimension as a separate dimension. Nothing to worry. Otherwise, what will happen? You have to create a date dimension separately, and then you have to from the what's called sales data, fact data. You have to find the date, match the date, right, and get the ID. So there's a date ID here. Guys, everybody. And this date ID 1 is going to be put it in a fact. Right?
Right.
And here you can create a dimension. So nothing to worry. Power BI is a very flexible, a beautiful tool. So even your date dimension, I mean, is going to be created by your date. So if you have your order date, sales date, whatever date it is, it will go and create your own by default hierarchies. Everybody's clear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now we're talking about a fact again. What are the different kind of facts we do store?
Actually,
The actual data, the actual transaction data.
Actual transaction data.
Yes.
Okay. Any change in that? Do you want to change anything?
Let's see. We will store all the granularity, means all the measures, which will be like quantity, number, quantity, sales amount. You're looking at the product for particular products, or product code will be also there. So all these items will be stored in the fact table.
Definitely, a fact table will have all the dimension IDs along with the measures. Whichever dimension from product, location, customer, employee, right, channel, those would be there. So basically, you need to understand what is the granularity data we should store into the fact. And the first and basic example is you should keep the lowest granularity of your data. So if you have this, if I may ask you, I want a separate table for these all. Is it possible?
But why we require separate table?
Come again?
We can store everything in a single table. Why we require separate table in this case?
So this is simple table only. My report needs these data, right? So I'm not talking about date dimension. I'm talking about a normal fact. Let's say you have a fact. Date, product ID, employee ID, channel ID, store ID, and then the measures. Quantity, price. So this is my fact data. If I have to go and create similar kind of a dimension, I mean similar kind of a report which has year, quarter, month, and day. What do you suggest? Should we have 4, 5 different tables? Aggregated tables. First of all, you understand what is aggregated means?
Combined.
Okay. So this is a fact table and this is my requirement. Can you please suggest what to do?
In fact table, we can add date ID. Date dimension ID.
Come to you next to your mic. I think this is a little far. I'm not able to hear you properly.
In the fact table, we can add date dimension ID.
Date dimension, any gonna be here. So that is there. Date dimension. See, this is the date dimension only. Let's say. Forget about date. We'll have a normal order date. I can take it from here, as you know, right? Power BI can do that. So I need not to go and create the date dimension. So I'm not doing it. That exercise is gone. So you have here. First of all, you understand the question. Say, let's say I have this report.
In this case, will you require an order day or order ID, no? In the dimension table as well.
Yes. Order ID. It's okay. We'll have order ID. Nothing to worry. We'll have more data. So forget about the order ID. We'll have that. I'm just asking, how do we achieve this? So ultimately, this is what we have to achieve. Yes or no?
Yeah.
How do we achieve?
Just add order day over here in that dimension table. From this order day, you will add it in the from fact table. You add it in the dimension table order day. That will give you year, month, quarter.
Sorry. Why do you want to create that?
Because only then you can.
I'm gonna create you same hierarchy for this, my dear friend. You don't have to worry. It will give you year, quarter, month, week, day. Forget about a week. You understand my question, first of all? If we have this data, can I get this kind of a report? Yes or no, first of all?
Yes, you can.
So there's a two different ways we can do it. Number one, I can use the same and I can go and do the reporting. Else, there's another methodology that's called aggregate table. What is aggregate table is any calculation top of your fact data, fact table is called aggregate table. So can I say we can have 4 aggregate table: year basis, quarter basis, month basis, and day basis or daily. Now, what is the difference between this and creating aggregate table, or what is the benefit if you're taking data directly from the fact data? You can see the differences between them, yes or no? Come on, guys, please help me out.
Yes, we can see that.
Do I need populate the data here all the time? Please help me out. You understand what I'm saying? Here, these are the aggregate tables, which is a summary table, which is the aggregate table, but they are separate tables, right? Do I need to populate all the time on a daily basis?
Yes.
Because year, month, quarter may not change, but day would be changing. So your aggregates, if I say sum, if I say, I'll take out this, I'll say mode, and I'll say the revenue. So Gopal, can you please understand which one, when do you think we should go for this?
We have to, like daily reports. We want to generate daily reports.
Yeah, but what scenario use this methodology using this? This is the running, right? This is direct. This you have to populate.
Yes.
You have to populate daily at least, not these. We have to populate this, and followed by it is also populating, right? Daily will impact month, month will impact quarter, quarter will impact your revenue, isn't it?
Right.
So we have to run 1, 2, 3, and 4 queries every time, isn't it? But
Yes.
why let's say I'm giving you Gopal, you have to do this, and yes, sir, Indra, I can do it by this. Why you want me to do this way? So you need to give me what is the pros, what is the cons for both.
The aggregation
time taken will be less for aggregated table.
Come again.
Time taken for populating, segregating which year, quarter, month for aggregated table will be less.
The right word can I suggest you is called compute, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind, right? This is the one.
Compute.
So compute time, this is you mean, right?
Correct.
So So here I have everything. I'm just displaying on the report. Am I correct?
Yes.
Power BI is not doing compute at all. It is just displaying. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Right. And if it was only the fact table, then it would have to spend time in computing and creating that aggregated table and then going back to the dimension table.
Though Power BI is very capable doing it,
Yeah.
but think from a bigger perspective. If you have GBs, terabytes, and petabytes of your fact table is growing, every day is growing, exponential. Which one you should go for? This one and that one?
Aggregated table, of course.
Okay, guys, everybody understood?
Actually, it is either, I mean, this dim date table is already there, right? It's either using aggregate table or using fact table, right?
Yeah. See,
It's
you're not
using
creating
either of this, right?
We're not creating a date dimension. It by default on the fly created by here. But here I'm saying, hey, hang on. I want to go for aggregated summary data.
Correct.
So once you loaded this, next you load this.
Okay, you're loading both. Okay.
Yeah, because daily there will be daily incremental data, buddy. You're loading
Correct.
it. Right?
Yeah, correct.
When you loaded this, the next job you execute this, no?
Okay.
You call them so that you need a summary data because listen, daily, monthly, weekly, and quarterly will impact, no? If your data is adding every day.
Yes, sure, definitely.
So when it comes to the report, if you don't have the updated hierarchy, your report is still older. It's not refreshed. So number one job, number two job, and trust me, you must be feeling funny and completely laughing. But this is what the industry does it. If it is a bigger, huge data, especially banking.
Right. So yeah. So just one question over here, Indra. Here we are, as you mentioned, we are using both tables, right? First is the fact table which we are loading.
What is that? I didn't get it. What table?
Yeah. First is the transaction or fact table, whichever you can call it, that you are using. Okay, that you are loading. Next, you're also creating this aggregated table on the top of fact table.
Correct. So you're saying let's talk about a transaction data. Let's be little bit more specific. Transaction data. We're saying fact data load.
Fact data. Correct.
And then the next you're saying after
Aggregated
fact is
table,
loaded successfully.
Yeah. Correct.
And there's a condition: successfully load, not failure. If it is successful, then
based upon top of that you are creating aggregated data. Yeah. Computing.
Right, but there's a middle something you're missing, man. Before doing this, there's something zero. You know what? Dimension load. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So one thing is missing. You know what? Fact table is loaded, aggregate loaded. Something is missing, isn't it?
You mentioned dimension.
And what more? Come on. More. Dude, something like lookup table.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I'm so working so many years now. Even sleeping, I can talk about this. These are things.
Yeah. So lookup table, you mean masters, right? Similar.
Yes, kind of master table. Yeah, kind of master table. Yeah.
Okay. So say first this step is not done. Like we are not loading dimensions and lookup table and directly loading the transaction level table. Then wouldn't those dimensions? Okay. So
before loading a dimension, the first job is your lookup and dimension table. Number 2 is fact table. Number 3 is aggregate table. Okay.
Okay.
This has to. You can do it one by. So lookup dimension, you can put it parallel. No. But fact, you have to put all the data first.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So once this is done, then you are creating that loading that aggregated table. Okay. So this aggregated table again, are we creating it separately from transaction table, or how are we doing it? Or is we are doing it, or I mean, how are we doing it? First question.
So basically, when it comes to the mind, if you can see properly, who will be doing your ETL? Let's talk about that.
Ourselves, we only.
Also, you guys are ETL and BI both team, right?
Yeah, we are doing both. Yeah.
Okay, so there will be two separate teams, no, at least not the same guy.
Yeah, yes. Can say
There will be two separate guys, right? Two separate team altogether. Even you are under you, but there will be two separate guys, right?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, when you load the data, daily data, ETL guys. Now ETL guys has a responsibility where they have to load. First of all, they will be loading the data from the daily transaction data. Correct?
Correct.
Now daily transaction data is coming from where? Production.
Yes, correct.
From that, now you have a production and you have a reporting layer. Now reporting layer, what all things do you think they has to have data in order to produce a report? Just think over. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, all dimensions and all the measures also, right?
No. Measures stems there. But first of all, I'm asking, in order to see, ultimately loading what? You're loading measures, sir, every day, not dimension every day. But how do I make sure if this new product has come? You already mentioned new customer is coming, right? So your data is loaded. Don't you want to give a new customer code or ID to your new customer at all? How do you going to maintain them if you don't have a customer ID?
Yeah, that you will have to put it into maybe, I think, lookup table.
Where is the process? Because production data you have it, data warehouse will have historical and current, everything will have it, right?
Correct. Yes.
So how will you go ahead and do that? That's my question. Is at what stage will you do it? That's very important, isn't it? Do you want to do it after data load and after your fact data loaded?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I'm not sure how to answer that because.
Okay. So first is you would not. If you're loading your fact data.
Yeah, you should be loading it before you're loading transaction data.
Yeah, because let's say customer ID is coming there, my dear friend. Now customer ID is not generated, no. I found new ID.
Yeah, it is already there. Yeah.
So I'll do one thing. I'll go and find customer ID and I match. This is a source one and I match to my dimension, right? Dimension customer ID.
Correct.
If I something new find it, what I'll do? I'll create it, no?
Yeah, you will add it in that dimension.
And that is what I'll go to the fact, no?
Correct. Okay.
So that is what I'm saying. In order to get that, you need to get your lookup and your stuff. I mean, your what's called? Master table. All you lookup and master. So for example, what is lookup? Do you remember that? Now, where is that?
You were doing status ID.
This is my lookup.
Yeah.
They will treat it. Now here, a lot of time people keep it. I keep it personally. A lot of people don't even keep it. These three. They don't do it. You got my point. They don't do it.
Right.
But I do it. You know why? I want to make it more global. I'll tell you what happened, when you're working in industry, I have a very good and very bad and worst experience. Customer, they come anytime. Indra, tell me how many times has it been changing, man? How many status we are using it? Can you let me know when we make changes in the statuses? Come on, to answer this question, I don't have data. It's freaking out, man. To get my data back, I need to have data statuses. And that's why I use this. I'm smarter than these guys. So I do it my own. So I have my data, I can give all the answers. Isn't it?
Right.
And let me tell you, I don't write so many dimension job. I write only one job. To be very smart, I do parameterization. If I have 15 dimension, do you want to write 15 jobs?
No, then what is parameterization then?
All the dimensions, no. Basically, it's doing a copy, my dear friend. Here to here, from source to target. What are you doing it? You have a source and you have a target. Right?
Right.
So take the,
correct. Insert and select, right?
Table will not change. For example, you have a customer table here. Sorry for my spelling. And then you have a dim customer. Does it change over the time? Your mapping will not change, my dear friend.
Mapping will not change, only
So if I give you rather than customer name, if I parameterize the percentage name, I can use anything, no?
correct. Yes.
I'll tell you, you're talking to a person who have actually been doing same thing again and again. So what I do, everything parameterize. So I do parameterization.
Okay.
Even I've created accelerator. Whenever I join any project, I run my accelerator in order to generate the metadata. I have written my own code. I do not believe in any ETL tool. It's all sick. So I have my own model. I create all the metadata data. I play there. I have my procedures written. All metadata I can do. And I've given free to my company, whichever company I joined. And they're very happy to accept that because I've already made it over the years. Right?
Right.
So that's metadata I really play with. Coming back to the session, we were talking about more from data perspective. So when you say, why do we need this, Indra? To a very simple answer, if it is a huge data, you would probably go on this. Right?
Yes.
That's how it works upon. And then there's a simple. Year will have a year ID, my dear friend. So this is 4 different tables I can join, isn't it? In Power BI, I can do joining, no? Year, quarter, month. I can do that.
Yes.
This to this, this to this, this to this. That's it.
Right.
Right. And get my data. My measures will be there.
Yes.
So I'll tell you, if you know Power BI, well and good. But boss, you need to know how to use Power BI. I think I told this story in the first day also, right? It is not important that you know Power BI or not. Everybody is a drag and drop. Anybody can do that. Even a class 1 standard guys can do that. But how do you implement a bigger solution? That's what.
Right. So Indra, coming back here, you are having at the third step, you're having the aggregated table, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is the data which you are actually loading into Power BI, right?
So depending if you're using a direct or query search, there's a 2 way of loading. You can store data in Power BI, right? Which was seen that other times when I saw you. This says, so where is that? Where is that? Yeah. So if you can see here, I have reportings. Remember these files? See the data 327, 63, 156. So they has the data inside. Okay.
Right. So actually my question is that once you are say loading aggregated data, how can you traverse back to transaction data? Because this will be like 2 different tables, right? What aggregated data will be separate table and transaction level data will also be separate. So when you are actually showing aggregated data on Power BI,
yeah,
and then if you want to go back to the transaction level data, like for every,
this is 2 different reports. This is okay. You're saying this report. Okay, I can go for drill through.
okay, drill through. Okay,
drill through. So this Power BI has a drill through concept. Let's say you have this amount. How did you got this amount? You got my point?
Yeah.
And then I can have a separate page where I have a complete detail, like whatever you want. So you can pass this value to this particular page. That's it. That's called decryption. Right? Drilling through. We'll show you that.
Okay.
That you can do it.
Okay.
In fact, whether you have aggregate table or not needed, drill through you can do anyhow. If you're showing up, let's say here also, and you want to go detailed data, right? Let me give you a simple example. Now you have a customer, right? Let's say Gopal and Indra, 2 customers I have. Now there's a dashboard, right? I'm saying customer total. Customer, right? Revenue report or something. So I have a customer, I have a location, and also quarter level, how much, what. So if I say customer, I'll have a couple of customers, right? 1, 2, 3 customers, right? I may have a total customer. Fine. So you can have, let's say I have Gopal is 1 customer and Indra is 1 customer. Now this is a total value I'm getting, right? Right? Let's say some value here, some value here.
Okay.
Got it? Now you want to see, okay, how Indra is getting this much, how Gopal getting this much. So right click and you can say drill through, or you double click there. Normally normally go to right click and settle through. It will go to a different page. It would be a separate page, a new report at all. Different structure. Right? Remember the parameter? So this is what the parameter is. I'll show you in the Power BI.
Okay.
We have that feature.
Okay.
Yes. So I hope you're getting the point now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So actually, I'll just explain how we were doing it, like on different tool, of course. So we had one data which was having policy level data. Okay, so that we can consider as day level data itself.
Okay.
And another would be the actual summary table, which is the aggregated table, which will be devoid of that policy level data. Rest all parameters would be there, right? All dimensions and all let's say a matrix, whatever dimensions.
In this scenario, this was report 1 and report 2, my dear.
Yeah, so report 1 you can, yeah.
Report 2 have a separate different design, altogether more in detail. I mean more detail specific. Report 1 will be all summary. Click here or you can just say go to the report 2. So whatever customer you're selecting, it will go there. Okay.
Okay, but Indra, I'm still not very clear on this 1 and 2. They may be separate reports, but they are formed from one single table itself, right?
Yes. All the first into table.
Okay. So
You can pass a parameter. You can pass a parameter. Nothing to worry.
Okay.
You can look up a data. You can do a condition column. We'll do everything. Don't worry. Power BI has all the features.
Okay, because in our use case, like I said, in first level we had all that policy level data, and in second use case where we had separate table, it was having summarized aggregated data. So it was just, I mean, does not having policy level data. So we had to refer to.
You're just saying other way around. First, we'll have a summary. You got my point. Like same here. No, where is?
Yeah, but there it was like two different tables itself. Like this aggregated table, now we were creating it separately.
Yes.
Certain select. And yeah, and this was created out of that transaction level data itself. And we used to load that summary level data into that tool. And in case we require, say, for one particular line of business, for one particular channel, one particular branch, we need to know all the policies and say premium of that. Then we used to write another code where
that's manual work. That's manual work, completely manual. So the best part is now if you say summary here in this scenario, right? And if you have another page which has all detailed, right? All detailed. So in order to get summary to detail, you have to pass what? You have to pass at least this, right? Nothing else. You have to pass something.
Right.
Which customers? The total is there, no? But at least you pass no customer ID, customer name, something you have to pass, my dear friend.
Correct.
Right. And if you say policy, so if you let's say customer Gopal and I talk about policy revenue, so policy is there, but this is Gopal's one, right? Remember that 360 view of customer? You remember that? So we have customer ID everywhere, isn't it?
Correct.
Policy ID will have a customer ID. You can't say no, Indra policy does not have a customer ID. I can bet on that. Which policy for whom you're creating? There's some customer, right?
No. Okay.
Any policy will have a customer ID. Yes or no?
In our case, I think we didn't have something.
Insurance policy. Have you taken LIC? Have you taken a car, vehicle, or some insurance?
Yeah. But,
does it have your name, phone number, address?
Yes.
So every policy will have customer ID.
Correct.
Right? If you go for day level data, then this is no customer ID at all. It is a daily level, whichever, regardless the customer and product. Okay. So we'll take a look. We'll have a discussion on that, and you and me can have a brainstorming there. Right?
Okay.
So basically, we would definitely see the stuffs. I have already taken in consideration, and we'll talk about in detail.
Okay.
Okay, Power BI. Okay, so we have three kind of your data. I think we already spoken for cumulative, which is aggregative, right? We just spoken right now. So transaction data is the lowest level of data, which is the day level data. Okay. Everybody.
Yes.
Now then we have a periodic snapshot. Have you ever come across what is periodic snapshot?
No, not aware.
Okay. Sometimes you say, okay, I will take this data as if today. So when I copy till today, I'll get all the data till today, right? Not tomorrow, not day after. So whenever I file, it will get till today only. So it's a very specific period of snapshot. Okay, I want to see, okay, last year, 2 quarters data. That is also possible, right? Am I clear?
Okay.
Just
So
like, yeah.
it could be like bank statement.
Yeah. Any, it's like when I say periodic statement. Which period you want the data? So you need to specify a period. Fine. So within the period the data is taken over, you'll have only that period of data. You don't have before and after. If I say 2 months of bank statement, it has only 2 months of bank statement. Correct. So this fact taken over a period for specific source systems. Right? Cumulative always spoken. The fact stores what happens over a period. For example, total sales by product by store. Now cumulative is like we see an aggregation of the data. But I'm saying you want to see what happens for last 3 months of my product sales. You got my point. It is like it's still a snapshot, but little better than snapshot. And bigger also. Okay, last and very, very important.
Any scenario?
Which one?
Any scenario we would like to keep a snapshot, like, so we can keep 3 months data and
on a monthly basis. A lot of organization takes snapshot on a monthly basis, 1st to 31st. 1 file. So how many files in a month? How in a year? 12 files. So when I have to do a reporting on specific to, I know that I need a month of July. So I'll go to July file. So my data is very small, no? Are you getting a point? Is it clear?
but it is the same thing, like we are pushing the transactions in the fact tables.
No, it's an aggregated table. It's not fact table. Fact table has all the data. I'm taking more data from there. Let's say I have a source, right? And would take 1 month of data from source, creating a fact table only, but only 1 month of data. So in order to get that, you may have 12 months of data in a 12 different tables. So basically take it other way. Do you understand partitioning data?
Yes, we do.
So if I give you that I want to go for a 2 months of data or one month of data, and you taking select query entire fact table, will it be good? Is it logical?
No, just take the partition by to look at the whole table.
So I have only one table and we have partition for 12 months, which is faster. Partition 1, right?
Yes.
So that is what the reason. Now here we have a physical table. So I'll tell you, even in big table or any other big company, big data, we also have partitioning. But partitioning means we're creating more files. That's it, nothing else. Now you ask me why more filing? I can also do a period from January to month. Fine, January month and February month. It is only 2 months of data, right? Rather than having 12 months of file. Yes or no? So you are actually slicing a data. I mean, the number of records is very less in order to do the kind of a query search. Less records. Okay, most important part, factless work. Give me one example. I've already given here. But do you know what is factless fact? That's a measure, but it's not a measure. One example, see. A fact, which is a fact actually. You've seen running total in your bank statement. Everybody seen that? Running total?
Yes.
Does it impact you? Does it really impact you? That's my question.
No, we are only means current total. We are only looking for current total.
Are you sure? Think again. So if you do your transaction on a daily basis, don't you want to see that transaction is plus and minus and what is happening if you plus and if you do a minus? Is it not giving you every transaction as a summary for you? Each transaction summary, whether you're acting as a taking out money or you're
Credit and debit transaction. Credit and debit transaction.
So basically what will happen? You probably get the daily status of the time. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. It is very important. So if you have a running total in your report or in your statement, do you think that statement are being actually storing running total somewhere?
Yes. But according to me, it is stored current total and or new total instead of storing each of the running total.
That is what I'm saying. Where do you want to store it?
No.
Will you store it?
We can calculate it on the go. Right.
Okay. So you will do all the run, but do you also want to store it somewhere? Do you think this is important?
Because we already have the transaction data, so why we need the summary also? We can just calculate it on the go.
So is that not going to be a little, pressure on your OBI? What do you think? If you do that running total all the time on the flow, will it be a problem? Will it be taking a lot of, I would say, place and do you think what is the best way? Would you like to copy or would you like it to, keep it at what do you think?
Will that aggregated table not store this running total?
Aggregate table.
Yeah.
Aggregate table. Yeah, you could do that, but does not give me a right feeling for me. Why aggregate table you want to keep it? See, aggregate table all the time, don't do it, honestly speaking.
Okay.
Not all the time. Yes, people do it.
So it will be meaning the same, I mean, running total is what I mean.
So what normally we do in a fact table itself, we can create them or we can use a temporary table. Okay, temp table if possible. But now we're saying it's a factless fact. That means the fact it is not active with any other dimension at all. So for a fact data, are you passing a customer ID or something like that, or a channel product in any dimension is dependent upon? No, right? They're not dependent. It is based on the value which is coming out. Plus minus. Yeah, just think over. Okay, so just want to go for next. Give me a minute. So basically, if you see a fact table, we'll have normally a different kind of a fact. So now how do we actually figure out which fact is related to what? So see, from a transaction which is being already taken, and those fact table are being typed is being actually related to your measure types. So can you figure out additive, semi-additive, and non-additive? How you can just figure out with these different types? What do you think? What is additive, semi-additive, and non-additive? Just figure out. Just think. You getting a point? What do you think? What is additive?
Yeah, I mean, say if we have 7 dimensions and one single measure, then if you can add all these 7 dimensions and get a cumulative value, then that would be your additive. Like for every, say in our case, we have like log, branch, channel, and we have a premium value, say. So if we can add all log, branch, and channel.
You're saying all the
every
participate in order to get the total.
Yeah, all the dimensions would be participating.
So an additive measures are measures that which can be added by all dimensions in the current schema. Correct?
Correct.
Semi-additive. Now there are a lot of time we don't need all the dimensions to be coming in, right? That can be set few dimension in the current schema. Daily balance fact summed by a customer, but not by the time dimension. Right? Daily balances. What is the balance customer has today? Right? We don't need a store, we don't need a product, nothing. So there would be semi-additive. How you can do a change of your data, of your measures, but they are not connected with all the dimensions. They would be connected to few dimensions. So at times, a lot of time you say, okay, I don't need measures which is being fully, kind of a measures will be connected to all dimensions. Non-additive. Can you please help me out? Which is a non-additive? Example is already given, but just to make you. What do you think? Which one is?
Yeah, we cannot add two percentages or two ratios or anything like
So
that.
non-additive means when you say additive, you need a dimension ID, product ID, customer ID, time ID, whatever it may be. Correct? But it says percentage, ratio. So you see in your data, let's say I have daily sales. I can see also we have there would be a, let's say I have a budgeted of 20 and I sell 4 today. Can I get my percentage? Come on, help me out, guys. Yes or no? Can I?
Yeah, 20%.
Correct? So this is not, do I need a dimension for this? Do I need it? I don't need it, right?
No.
I need only the value. Correct? That is what is a fact list. So non-additive measures are measures that cannot be summed by any dimension in this schema, like percentage, ratio calculated. Fine. Okay. So that looks like we are end of the session today. Now the question time. Everybody.
Yep.
Shoot up question. Whoever has any questions, please shoot. Looks like we're getting less.
Can you go over factless fact again and explain with another example?
Okay.
Not very clear with the concept also.
Factless fact.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you call a fact as? Can I talk about a sales as a fact?
Yes.
So let's say day 1. I'm giving you 2 data. Day 1 data, day 2 data. Okay? Day 1 you sold 1,000. And I have something called factless. It's called running total revenue. Now what is that? I have this, right? And I said next day I put for 2,000. Now what I do, I'll do this plus this, right? let me have one more for you. Can you see that?
Right. Okay, I got it. But even, okay, here we even don't require running total also. Now, say if we only have day one and sales, then that itself also becomes a factless
No,
factor.
but see, day one is 1,000, day two is 3,000, no?
Yeah, no, I got it. Yes. But if running total itself was not there, then wouldn't that only days and every
That
day
is fine.
sale?
That is fine. But I see, I'm saying, you know, YTD.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, this is actually M2D, to be very honest. That particular month, on a daily basis, how am I loading it, right? This is what is sales, if I'm correctly understood. Just see this. This date 1,000, another day 3,000, third day 5,000.
Correct. If you stop at month, yes, then
Does it
month
make
would be-
sense?
yeah.
A lot of time you need it, money. I'll tell you, a lot of time you need it in the reports. You may not be needed, but there's a guy who's being in a business side. They all need this kind of data.
Okay.
How much do I sell? So can you see what is the average here? Can you see that? What is the average? Tell me. How do you figure out the average? How much you're selling?
Yeah, you just 5,000 by your number of days, 3. It doesn't make.
That is what you're wrong, my dear friend. That is you're wrong. Tell me what will happen. It is every day. This divide by number of days.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So this has to be 2. This has to be 3. You're not getting a point. See, there's a differences. What you have a value, next day, you have a, if you go for percentage, what will happen?
Yes, correct. So you're, yeah, I mentioned the average for 3 days. And
So that is 3 days. So 3
Yeah,
days average is 1.66, sir. It is not 5,000 by divided with 3. That
Yeah,
would be only 5. So something like how much?
Yeah, it will be the same thing. Just I was talking only cumulative for 3 days, and you were asking for
So this is
day
only
by day.
on a daily basis.
Yeah, correct.
So these see, I'll tell you, maths is maths here. Basically, these are things will be coming when the report comes up.
Correct. Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Okay. Got it.
So basically, net to net, these all will come. So you must be knowing KPI, right? You definitely working on KPIs. So these all are different KPIs you come across. Correct? So are you using YTD, MTD, something time series? This is called time series. What do you think? You guys use time series?
It is there everywhere, no? I mean.
Yeah, but you guys are using it or not in your program?
No, I'm not using. We are not using time series. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to teach. It's not important. Should we not go?
Yeah, please teach.
Not go and teach you
Yeah,
time series.
Go ahead.
Right. Okay. This is my. I mean, this is not the new syllabus, but I want to give you something add-on. Syllabus mein nahi hai ye, right? But I want to give you something add-on. See, the moment you finish your Power BI training, you should be able to go and create a dashboard independently. That's my target for myself. Okay. In order to get that, I'll also give you advanced stuffs. So once you clear within 1 week, everything has to be, you have to be more specific. You have to do practice. Make sure the time which you're given for practice, we have to finish it then and there. I mean, guys have to share the screen as well. I do not believe, sir, ho gaya, sir, ho gaya. I want to see that screens. Correct? So that you guys can really understand. Okay. Any other question I can help you with? So how's the overall session? Are you able to understand what are the fact data? What is the transaction data? So we've been looking into a couple of trainings, presentations, especially for the data warehousing. So if I take this on, so we have gone through introduction of, BI, warehousing, architecture, and dimension and fact table. How are you feeling now, you guys? Are the basics are okay so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now, tomorrow when you go to data modeling, I want everybody to do a data model on an Excel sheet. I don't want an ERV or something, but I want to create. So I'll create your groups. How many guys are there? Let me figure out. Tomorrow, Gopal sir, people are not joining. Please focus them, put them focus, let them join on the training. I can see.
Yeah.
People are coming on and off, Gopal. कभी आते हैं, कभी जाते हैं. I don't know what is going on. Little bit more.
Let me check with their managers.
Be serious because I don't have any problem. यार मेरे को वैसे भी पैसा मिलेगा. I'm not worried about money. But you guys taking out your official time and learning, please focus that to finish it. And I'm pretty strong in that. I want everybody to get something from here. Tomorrow you should not talk to each other. ये fact कैसे बनाते हैं, वो time कैसे create करते हैं. No, I want everybody to finish it on the session itself. That's my goal for myself, honestly speaking. Right? So please make sure everybody is there in training. Tomorrow I have to create small group, Gopal, 2, 3, and then data modeling ke baad, now you understand dimension. So I'll be going for 2 model. One, I'll give you data, Excel sheet mein data dunga, and I want a dimension model and I want a relational model. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
You not do scripting. I just want to just type the names of the columns. Simple. Right? I just want to make you guys have a kind of a one small exercise. Will it be okay? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to make you guys more confident on the data model side. See, I don't mind anything if you don't understand, but if you understand, see, Chinmay is doing a lot of discussion. That's very good. For example, MTD come up, time series program has come up right now. Fine. How he's having his own data. You want to go for policies and you want to go for a summary. So please come up those kind of stuff, right? It's good to have those discussion. Everybody will understand. There are a lot of people who does not have an experience. They'll at least learn, right? So I'm not sure how the session today, guys. Please help me out with the feedback. Today's session. Looks like boring, huh? Nobody is responding.
It was good for me. Enjoying the session.
Ashmina, Harshal, Rohit, Tejas, Vidya, Yogesh.
Yeah, even for me, it was good.
You didn't ask a question, Rohit, isn't it?
No, actually, I
enjoying
got it what you were
enjoying the show. Having Prime Video and on place, right?
No.
Some napkins, some cold drink. Huh? That's it. Come on, you should ask question, man. Otherwise, you'll not. Because trust me, what you do right now, you'll be doing in your production, and then I will not be there, or nobody will be there to help you. Right? Please ask questions. Harshal, how's your thing, man?
Means I got an in-depth knowledge of the dimension table and fact table. I was not aware of this concept prior to this.
ठीक है, तो आप मेरे को 2 extra chocolate दे देना, ठीक है?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Tejas, you were there for entire day. Tejas, I think you were there in between and then you left. Then again you came back. What is that?
No, I was there.
तो एक भी बात पूछा नहीं यार. I'm not too good teacher, I understand, but फिर भी एक question तो पूछते यार. I was very desperate to know. You guys not asking question.
No, it was really good as you were explaining everything.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Vidya.
It was good, but I had to go for some calls, so I'll brush up using your this thing.
Recordings.
Presentations. Yeah, I'll cover all that.
I'll tell you, Vidya, one thing is my experience. Your name itself is Vidya. Do I go and teach you something? Impossible. I can't teach to Vidya. Vidya we have to learn from, right? Nice name. Okay, Yogesh. Yogesh is, I think, maybe a problem in mic. Hey, Gopal, have you spoken to a team member? Are they okay so far in the training? First week so far gone, the second week started. How they've been finding? What is experience, Gopal? Concepts are clear, still they're not clear before going the, finishing the session. Gopal, can you hear me?
Indra, you are explaining time.
Hello?
Also.
Yeah. Gopal, so I said, have you spoken to a team?
Yes. They are doing good. And today's session was even better than last 2. It's
very good.
Now we are gearing up.
So every day the session is getting better and more better. Okay. That's what I'll try.
Actually, people are getting the basics. So now coming to concepts and understanding things.
Makes sense. So they're okay. They're happy, right? They're not losing their time at all coming to the session, right?
No. Yeah.
Okay. That's my motto. So good for today. We're gonna done. Tomorrow we'll have a data modeling understanding, and we'll have some exercises. So that's gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Tomorrow is Tuesday. So we'll have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 days today for Power BI, and next week. Next week is full, right? If I'm not wrong.
Wednesday will be 26th, Indra. So,
And it's really holiday.
Oh, holiday. Tomorrow, right?
It will be 27th, yeah.
So are we coming in 26 or no?
No, I think on training which was sent to us, there is after 25, there's 27.
Oh, Tuesday, Wednesday is holiday for you.
No, it's only Wednesday, 26th only Republic Day.
Okay, no worries. And what is the last day, if you can see that calendar, if you don't mind?
Yeah, just check it, yeah.
Yeah, I am planning for the session as well, so. So Gopal, do you got any chance to speak to your L&D department during this training last week?
No, yet you have to connect with them.
Please talk to them and tell them how the training going on. At least they should know, because they are not joining. They haven't joined anything in the first session. So please ask them to join.
Lakshmi has joined today morning.
Oh, Lakshmi is from our side, not from your L&D.
Sorry.
You please ask your L&D team to come and check, how's things happening.
Okay.
That is, tell them how the training is going on. They should be, because the time management is done by L&D department. At least you give them a feedback how things are going on.
Sure, I will do it today.
Yeah. What is the last day, Chinmay?
7th February is mentioned.
7th. So we have coming week. Oh, 7th is what? Monday is what?
Monday, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So this week is gone. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're now starting the Power BI. But guys, you have to be very serious while Power BI, and you make sure that Gopal, Chinmay, everybody in team do practice then and there. I'm not going to move my chair even a minute. I'll take a break there only, so that we'll have everything there. Right? Power BI, we have to do really, really hard, because you guys are interested only on basic and intermediate, or also in advanced?
I didn't get you. Whoa. Advanced will cover what means?
At certain level, right? But at least your basics and your intermediate should be perfectly fine. At least they should be able to make everything their own, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
मेरा major focus रहेगा data modeling पे, right? Data modeling and DAX बहुत important है.
Okay.
Correct. If you know these two things, DAX very importantly, and the definitely data modeling. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a PPT with the screenshots. So you guys can take, we'll do a definition, and you can take a help of this and create your own and finish it. Right? I'm trying my level best. I'm putting every day, I'm till sleeping at 1 o'clock in the night just to make these PPTs for you guys.
Yeah. Okay,
right?
Great. That will be helpful. And DAX is something that will be something of great help.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So you can see I'm still in progress. I was not able to show all of them. So you can see the PPT. I have, you can see that introduction I have. Then I have a modeling, then I have analysis, then I have a DAX. Can you see that? So in working mode, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, just one point, Indra, that like if in the next meeting you can show us the data architecture also, then that would be great. I think you said that.
Which one? Big data architecture?
Big data. Yeah. That's
big data. Okay, I'll show you. No worries. I'll show you. You want to see the AWS or Azure? Both.
Both will do either.
Okay, invoice किधर भेजना है चिन्मय?
मुझे लगा गोपाल सर रोज भेज रहे आपको.
हाँ, भेज दो.
यार मेरा इनवॉइस पता क्या होगा? आप लोग अच्छे से सीख लो, अच्छे से काम कर लो, मेरे लिए वही इनवॉइस है. तो टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, पैसा कमाना कभी भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. इट्स लाइक व्हेन यू वर्क हार्ड यू गेट मनी. बट आई वांट ऑल माय ट्रेनिंग जब भी होता है ना, मेरा खुद से KRA होता है कि बंदा कुछ सीख के जाएगा. somebody he can do it independently. That's my KRA for myself. And that's why my training, 99.9% training has been getting success, because of I make it very serious effort. And I request you guys also make a serious effort in order to learn. That's why it goes. और जी वाले को तो मैं बहुत डांट लगाया, वो फ्रेशर बच्चे थे उनको डांट लगाना पड़ा था to do this study. आपके में भी देख रहा हूँ लोग आ रहे हैं जा रहे हैं, but that's fine. but make sure Power BI will be, little more better. You guys be there more, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, and please see the recordings as well. That's most important for you. In case you've not understood, you'll have recordings. And again, if you have any question before starting a new session, let's have a small, 5-10 minutes brainstorming and then you can have a new, session to be started, right? Okay. On that note, taking care for yourself, Delhi, and then tomorrow we catch up at the same time, right? Tomorrow is no holiday, right? You said tomorrow and day after. 27th will catch up.
Only day after tomorrow is holiday. Tomorrow we have session.
So tomorrow we have session. 25th. 26th is not there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow then. No worries?
Yes.
Okay, have a great day, guys. Take care.
Yeah, same to you. Thank you.